Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another zombie review. And this is actually the sequel to my favorite zombie movie, 28 Weeks Later. And it came out in 2007, so 4 years after 28 Days. It is a very good extension of, what came before it. It's a little bit more of an action film. It's definitely bigger budget, more shit going on. The military's involved. So it is a bit more of an action film. But overall, I think it's a pretty damn good sequel. You know, it would have been so easy to fuck up a 28 weeks later. Because 28 Days was so awesome and so brilliant in every way. For how low budget it was, atmosphere, the story, the zombies themselves, look at the zombies. That one had a very independent, low budget feel. This feels more like a Hollywood movie. But I really do like it. I've actually heard a lot of people say that they prefer this one because it is more going on, more action. I would sort of liken these two films to like Alien and Aliens, maybe Terminator and T2. Maybe not that far, but definitely Alien and Aliens. Because Alien very quiet, sort of lower budget, more of a horror film. Aliens was more of the sci-fi action. This one is more sci-fi action. And it has one of the best openings, at least one of my favorite openings to any zombie movie. It opens up during like the initial breakout. Group of people in this cottage out in the country. Some kid bangs on their door saying he was chased, so they let him in. And zombies just start breaking through the boarded up windows. And people are running through the house. Which the husband... I've seen the husband before. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, I want to say he was in that movie. Robert Carlyle. Oh, he was in Trainspotting. Was he in that fucking movie Chained or Chained Up? No, that was the guy. That was one of the guys from the Dawn of the Dead remake that was in that Chained Up movie with Vincent D'Onofrio. But anyway, like the opening of this movie really shows that you might have to cut emotional ties. His wife takes the kid and they're running all over the place. They make it to a bedroom and one of the infected gets in there. So when he gets to the door, sees they're infected, he just shuts the door on them. He gets out through a window, down the roof. And it's all that, in my 28 Days Later review, I talked about the music in that one piece at the end called In the House. Down, 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 down. That's playing the whole time zombies are breaking through this house. And then when he's outside, that's when the music picks up with like electric guitar. And there's this great out of focus shot of the hills and the grass and all these infected running over the hill. There's like a swooping shot of them running towards him. One of my favorite scenes of any zombie movie. It's awesome. He gets to a boat, and of course, then when the music stops, he's like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!" He gets away, and then you get like a summary of what's happened since. it says all the steps during the plague, like 7 days was contagion, then evacuation, devastation, then just like so many days later, or like so many weeks later, the infected starve to death. So many weeks later, rebuilding begins. So many weeks later, repopulation. And now we're up to 28 weeks later. And central London, it's quarantined, and there's like, for people to come back into the city that have been evacuated, you got to go through like screenings and everything. They have certain housings. And the husband from the beginning, I guess he's pretty high up for like the sort of government that they have there. And his 2 kids, he has a teenage daughter and a younger son, and his younger son has 2 different colored irises, which means you find out he has a natural immunity to the virus. He can be a carrier, but he won't show symptoms. And, they ask about mom, and he kind of pussyfoots around it. They kind of escape one day, go to their old house, and they find their mother there. She kind of looks like Alessa Gillespie's mom from Silent Hill, kind of ratty. She somehow survived her attack. She has the 2 different colored eyes too. And I love the scene. They had to put it in there for comedy. The guy puts, because it's American military that's up on the roof of all these skyscrapers, sort of looking after everyone. Jeremy Renner is one of them. They pretty much shoot infected. They make sure they have to look through all these windows and make sure everything's A-okay. So he sends like a whole team to find his kids, and he finds out they find his wife, and she's not infected. So it's like he's on the phone or on the radio or something. He's like, "We also found your wife," and he's like, and then it just cuts to him walking to where she is, and he's like, this look like, oh, fuck. And it would have been so funny if he walked in there where she is, because it shows her get like the whole hazmat thing. It would have been so funny if he walked in there like, "Hey, honey," but he didn't do that. But one of her eyes is all bloodshot, which means she has the infection. He kisses her, and the infection gets into him through saliva. A well-done transformation scene. And pretty much, since he's within the compound, the infected gets in, and, the plague starts all over again. And, then the music comes back because everyone's in this one area. The dad gets through, starts biting people, and then you hear that music again. And it's just picking up as it shows the soldiers looking down at the chaos below. And eventually, like, Jeremy Renner's giving orders, like, just shoot to kill. It doesn't matter at this point. Just shoot everyone. And he's like, that's not right. And he goes AWOL. He goes AWOL with this one nurse who sort of health checks everyone. The 2 kids, and I think someone else. But right as they get away, they bomb the city. So it's just them trying to get to a point where they can get help. And yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of action. There's some... It does have its down moments, like a lot of sort of like 28 Days, a lot of them traveling, trying to get from one area to the other. Not all of them make it. Probably the best scene after. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I figured I could remember enough to talk about it. There's a scene where they're supposed to. Which the son gets bitten too. The young son, one of his eyes all fucked up. Which. I know Jeremy Renner. Spoiler alert. Jeremy Renner, he doesn't die via infected. He dies because. I think there's more military people, and he's trying to say like who he is, and they set him on fire or something. But there's a point where one of the guys he's in the military with, he's supposed to arrive with a helicopter. So we have our survivors, helicopters coming, and they're out in a field, and there's all these infected coming. And it's sort of like a Dead Alive. Helicopter just goes like this, and the blades just start fucking mowing them down. It's awesome. So, and I mean, yeah, it it is more of an action-packed movie than the first one, but I really like the independent, isolated, a devastated city feel and atmosphere of the first one. But this one did have a lot going for it, and I did think it was still think it's a very well done sequel. It was directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. Do I recognize any other names on here? Oh. Idris Elba, however you pronounce his first name. He's I think he's Jeremy Renner's friend, the one with the helicopter. But yeah, I mean, this DVD has some good features. I mean, they're all short, like making of, how they made the infected. Shows, I think the making of the graphic novel, which I need to get. I need to start reading those. That would be awesome. But, other than just being an action film, I like the aspect of, even when the military just says, fuck it. Like, just the way that music is, because I love that piece of music. Like, when everyone's running away, getting bitten, getting attacked. And you actually see other soldiers shooting innocents because they're told to. And you sort of see Jeremy Renner, his crisis. With saying, pretty much, fuck this, I can't do that. But yeah, I mean, all I can really say now is that it's not really gory, but 28 days and weeks later, they didn't really have to be gory. They're, they have great scenes, whether it be like emotional, because even that opening when the guy, you kind of get he's a bit of a dick anyway, but you don't know that in the beginning, and just how he just shuts the door on his wife with the infected in there. Her reaction, like, my husband just did this to me. And then, just how the military is so quick to just say fuck it and just drop a bomb on the whole city. And then it's like a road movie. Them trying to get to a place where they can get picked up. But yeah, it's, a lot going on. It's fast paced. I can see why people like it more than 28 Days, because there is more going on, more action. Not as low budget independent feeling. But yeah, 28 Weeks Later, very good sequel. I know 28 Months Later has been in the talks for years. And I've noticed in more recent years, like the last couple, Danny Boyle has actually been talking seriously about doing it 28 Months Later. And if it's even as good as this one, I'll think that's a great trilogy. Like, the only bad thing I could say about this is that it's not as good as the first one. But I still do think this is a very good sequel. It's better than most sequels, I'll say that. Especially ones that are more Hollywood than the previous one. But yeah, so that's 28 Weeks Later, and hope you enjoyed. So for Room 237, thank you for watching.